It's August 31st, 1997, on the streets of Vancouver, and Brian Herta is battling with the current kart points leader, who's a lap down after an earlier mishap. Herta, on the other hand, is in the lead, but he won't be for long, as he's about to be sent into the tire barrier.
Oh, from our Honda Helicam, you saw that both cars were balked slightly. Oh, Herta touches him, and the race leader is in the tires, and I can't believe it.
A few minutes later, rookie Dario Franchitti makes contact with Raul Boesel in the hairpin, and the driver that took out Herta makes a bold pass on Franchitti in the same corner. The situation prompts ESPN announcer Bob Varsha to muse on the very nature of automobile racing.
Sometimes you wonder if a racing driver thinks a car is an extension of his body to be protected, or simply a tool in his hands to be used.
Your own personal view on this quandary would probably determine whether or not you were a fan of the driver in question, Alex Zanardi. Throughout his time in kart, Zanardi was willing to use his car in ways that many others weren't. Sometimes it ended like Vancouver, with another driver taken out of the race. But a year earlier, on September 8, 1996, it ended with the single most iconic moment of his career.
When most people come to the Monterey Peninsula, they think of Pebble Beach, some great golf, and of course that world-famous 18th hole. But this weekend, IndyCar has invaded the area as ESPN Speed World welcomes you to the Toyota Grand Prix of Monterey, featuring the Bank of America 300. And they have been pouring into this track throughout the morning, and the tension here is so thick you could absolutely cut it.
The Toyota Grand Prix of Monterey at Laguna Seca, the season finale of the 1996 season, did not begin with all eyes on Alex Zanardi. Instead, the focus was on the three championship contenders, Al Unser Jr. from Team Penske, Michael Andretti from Newman Haas Racing, and Alex's teammate at Chip Ganassi Racing, Jimmy Vasser. Unser and Andretti are starting back in 13th and 11th respectively, so they're going to have some work to do in order to catch the points leader, Vasser, who starts 5th. But all of them are chasing Alex, who, for the 6th time this season, starts on the pole.
Green flag is just ahead of that bridge. Zanardi starts the acceleration, the rest of the field still coming off the corner. Looking for the green, the back begins to accelerate. Here we go! The championship is on the line at Laguna Seca as they screen through turn 1, down through turn 2 in the hairpin.
Alex breaks away from second-place Brian Herta as Christian Fittipaldi spins off behind them. He gets back going and the race stays green, as for the first of 83 times today, Alex navigates the corkscrew. When Laguna Seca was built in 1957, the track design wasn't yet complete by the time asphalt was being laid down, and the designer, Wallace Holm, had never designed a track before in his life. Thankfully, he was cognizant of this and enlisted the help of drivers to help plan a safe route. A route which climbs a rather large hill. The route up the hill was pretty simple, as there's a gradual rise in altitude surrounding what is now turn 6, but the way down the hill is a much different story. All of the sources I could find for this refer to the story as local folklore, so it may not be 100% accurate, but it's made its way into American racing history. As the story goes, the bulldozer driver clearing the path for the track was at the top of the hill when the foreman went up there and told him that he was going to lunch. The bulldozer driver says, "Wait, what's this part of the track supposed to look like?" And the foreman goes, "I don't know, just get down the hill any way you can." With a green light to just do whatever, the bulldozer driver hangs a hard left before making a somewhat shallower right turn. Over the course of these two turns, he descends 59 feet. It being 1957, everyone involved went, sure, why not? And so, one of the most famous corners in auto racing came to be. The corkscrew, at least back then, wasn't home to many spectacular or iconic racing moments. It became famous for its sheer audacity. The fact that race cars could traverse it at all was the spectacle. If someone were to make a pass here, especially in a high-stakes situation, it would immediately become one of the most incredible moments in the history of racing. You and I both know what I'm alluding to, but we're not there yet. In 1995, Alex Zanardi wasn't there yet either. He had arrived in the United States after losing his ride in Formula One with Team Lotus at the end of 1994. Across his 25 F1 races, he had no wins, no podium finishes, and a single championship point to his name. In the paddock at his first IndyCar race, he hands his business card to Chip Ganassi, but later sees Chip throw it away. Cal Wells, on the other hand, reaches out to Alex about a kart ride for 1996. Before he can sign a contract with Wells, Chip Ganassi abruptly fires Brian Herta. Alex's agent, Rick Gorn, rushes over to him to tell him he's got a meeting with Chip Ganassi. During this meeting, it's clear he's got a lot to learn about racing in America. We're second in qualifying, and you're going for the flying lap. There's only one car in front, and you know the pole is yours. And I tell you to slow down, Chip says, setting up a hypothetical scenario. What do? I ignore you, says Alex, not knowing how yellow flag rules work in kart. After the meeting, they have a test set up following the 1995 season, and Chip says Alex will have a ride if he drives as fast as he makes Chip laugh. On the second lap of the race, Jimmy Vasser demonstrates how hard it is to pass anywhere on this relatively narrow track, as he tries and fails to get around Scott Pruitt. For Jimmy, it's not worth it to push the issue, since a crash would spell the end of his championship hopes. A lap later, Parker Johnstone makes contact with Paul Tracy, sending him off the track and into the tire barrier. While this was more than likely incidental, it's certainly an interesting parallel to 2 races earlier, where Tracy sent Johnstone off the track and upside down. The caution comes out and Zanardi's early lead is erased. Unfazed, he pulls away once again at the drop of the green flag. At the October test on Homestead Miami Speedway's road course layout, Alex Zanardi meets Morris Nunn, Chip Ganassi's race engineer. Before Alex begins his test, Nunn says to Ganassi that Alex will accelerate too quickly out of the hairpin and spin out. Chip asks him why, to which he replies, because Italians are just like that. At this stage, Alex and Morris don't like each other, mostly because Morris insists he's a poor driver because he had never seen an Italian win a Formula One championship because they couldn't cope with the pressure. When Alex doesn't spin out of the hairpin, Morris changes his tune almost instantly. After the test, Chip Ganassi is hesitant to sign Alex and over the phone says he needs a little more reassurance. Alex, who has a test with Cal Wells' team the next day, says, "Look man, you clearly have some sort of hang-up about me. Rick Gorn is Reynard's agent too, and they supply your cars. They wouldn't recommend me if they didn't think I could win for them. If you don't want to hire me, let me go so I can drive for Cal Wells." With that, their conversation ends. "5 minutes later, Alex gets a call back from Chip. "Come to Pittsburgh tomorrow. There's a contract waiting for you." 27 laps in at Laguna Seca, Alex Zanardi relinquishes the lead to make his first pit stop.
They talked about taking a half turn to wing out. There's the adjustment on the left side and the right side, waiting for fueling to... Oh, they're on top of the hose right rear. He spins off. I don't know if this will be a penalty or not. 13.6 seconds.
Thankfully, it won't be a penalty, and he'll reclaim the lead after the pit cycle concludes. But this time, he's got company. Brian Herta is now within striking distance of the leader, and he's eager to spread the good word of Hertamania. Zanardi's still got the fastest car on the track, and one would think that if he falls to second or beyond, it wouldn't be that tough a task to make his way back up to the front. But again, the corkscrew is not the only reason that it's hard to pass here. In turn 2, Greg Moore demonstrates this.
Well, the fight continues as Greg Moore comes down the hill trying to move inside Guzman. He does so in the hairpin, but then he loses it. Moore loses it. He's off the track, no contact with anybody. It was a valiant try, but it was very costly.
However, Moore has also demonstrated that it is possible to pass here. He did overtake Mauricio Gugelmin, he just couldn't keep his car under control. Brian Herta, the only driver to stay in the same zip code as Zanardi, is hoping that this was just a rookie mistake and that it will be possible to pass in the hairpin. On the 43rd lap, he goes for it.
Oh, look at that. Look at the fight for the lead, though, as Brian Herta has just grabbed the lead. Brian Herta grabbed the lead coming down into turn 2.
Brian Herta is now in control of the race, and barring any misfortune on his end, it'll take a Herculean effort for Alex Zanardi to win. At the second race of the 1996 season in Rio de Janeiro, Alex drives from 24th to 4th late in the going. After the race, Morris Nunn says to him, "You drove a fantastic race. Are you sure you're Italian?" An old man and his stereotypes will not soon part. Throughout the first half of the season, despite his impressive drive in Brazil, Alex is worried that Chip will fire him thanks to a string of dismal finishes. In his book, Alex says that while Jimmy Vasser was driving with his head, he was driving with his heart and trying to accomplish the impossible. Keep that quote in mind, because it'll be relevant for his entire career. As Alex's performance improved throughout the year, so too did his relationship with Maurice Nunn. At the US 500 in May, the team acquired a new turbocharger and planned to give it to Vassar because they said that Alex was just learning on superspeedways. Nunn defended Alex, saying, "My driver will be right near Jimmy Vassar at the end of the race." With 76 laps left, he was ahead of Vassar and was running second behind Parker Johnstone when his engine let go in a plume of smoke. Despite this, he still led the most laps. Around this time, Maurice gives Alex the nickname Pineapple. I mentioned this when discussing the Road America race, but I didn't mention where it came from. According to Maurice, where he comes from, pineapple is slang for annoying child. Yeah, they got along great. His first kart win came at Portland and his second at Mid-Ohio. After rebounding from his first lap incident at Road America, he was in the title fight, but at the penultimate race in Vancouver, the lapped car of PJ Jones collided with him, taking him out of the lead. A P26 eliminated him from contention, and when PJ's team owner Dan Gurney apologized, Alex bit his tongue and refrained from saying that PJ sucked right to his face. Now out of title contention, all that remained was one race. Behind the leaders at Laguna Seca, Michael Andretti spins and damages his left front wheel. Meanwhile, Al Unser Jr. never contends for the win, winding up with a 16th place finish. The championship is no longer in question. It will go to Jimmy Vassar at race's end. The only remaining fight is between Brian Herta and Alex Zanardi for the top step of the podium. On lap 54, Stefan Johansson's rear wing collapses in turn 1, causing him to lose all downforce and spin off into the tire barrier, bringing out the second of 2 full-course cautions. On the restart, Herta breaks away as Jimmy Vassar closes in on Zanardi. The teammates don't battle for position because, as Paul Page says,
"They're not stupid, they're going to stay right together there."
Vassar remains behind Alex, allowing him to close back in on Herta. As the laps wind down, he remains within a second of the leader. Herta is looking for his very first kart win, with team co-owner and coiner of the phrase Hertamania, David Letterman, watching on. Zanardi remains about a half second behind Herta as they pass Raul Boycel's stricken car on the climb up towards the Corkscrew. This won't factor into the finish, but is it not insane that an entire car is sitting on the side of the track and nobody cares? It'll stay there till the finish. There's never an attempt by anyone to move it. Just after Andre Ribeiro's car meets an identical fate to Boycel's, Alex Zanardi puts all 4 tires off the track, somehow saving it and staying within spitting distance of Herta. For a brief moment, the lapped car of Richie Hearn holds up Herta. This allows Zanardi to close even more as the final lap begins. Alex pulls up to the back of Herta entering the hairpin, the best passing zone all day, but his car just barely steps out on him. He can't make the move. Through turns 3 and 4, Alex closes once again, but he's running out of time. There's just 7 corners left in the race, and he'll still be setting up a potential pass through 5 and 6. This would mean that after the small kink that is turn 7, he could make the pass in turn 8. Except, turn 8 is the Corkscrew. And how in the hell are you supposed to pass someone there? What is about to happen will begin Alex Zanardi's launch into orbit. It continues with his win at Long Beach, his first of 1997. His second wouldn't come until race 10 in Cleveland, where he hunted down Gilles de Ferran.
Now just 10 car lengths separate Gilles de Ferran. Oh, less than that now. Oh, Alex Zanardi. What a move. He was not going to be denied passing that back marker and get held up. He just dove in there. Now, once again, he has mirrors full of a rival with 6 laps to go. Here goes Zanardi down the inside of the 1. Here comes de Ferran on the counterattack. But at the rate Zanardi has been closing on him, I have to believe the performance advantage goes to Zanardi, who is now in the race lead.
Following a P2 in Toronto, he went on a 3-race winning streak, locking up the championship at the penultimate race. 1998 was more of the same, a second consecutive championship, the centerpiece of which was a 4-race winning streak, capped off by this pass for the win in Toronto.
Each man with a runner-up position, the championship, Zanardi to the inside.
After this, Formula One came calling once again, and Alex left kart to join Williams. But as his teammate Ralf Schumacher finished 6th in the points, Alex would fail to finish all but 6 races, scoring 0 championship points. In his book, he says that he chose to accept Williams' offer because he didn't want to go through life never knowing what he could have accomplished. After a sabbatical year, he returned to kart in 2001 with Maurice Nunn's new team, where he didn't perform quite as well as he did in Chip Ganassi's equipment. At the Lausitzring in Germany, he had finally recaptured the speed he had in the late 90s and led late. Unfortunately, as longtime viewers already know, this would be his final kart race.
Well, with 13 laps to go, I came in for the last splash and go, as we all needed a little bit of fuel to finish the race. And I remember, which is a memory that, funny enough, came afterwards. But I remember me going out after the pit stop and thinking, that's it, I've done it. Because, you know, in the pit stop, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. A wheel that doesn't go in, fuel doesn't go in. So as soon as I took off after the pit stop, I thought, okay, I'd won the race. And as I went out in the acceleration lane, I lost control of the car. Probably there was something like oil or cooling fluid. And I end up and I stalled the engine, bounced on the grass, and I end up in the middle of the racing line, standing still, where cars normally goes by at...
Pretty much perpendicular to the line of traffic.
Yeah.
So you're right there, just about ready. You're a sitting duck, more or less.
And then basically one car comes by and is able to avoid me, but I was actually moving a little bit as I was trying probably to recover the control of the car. And the second guy that was coming, which was Alex Tagliani, unfortunately, he did everything he could, but he couldn't avoid me. So he punched me, and probably in the weakest part of the top of the monocoque, with the strongest part of the car and the sharpest part of the car, which is the nose. And basically the car went in two parts, and a bit of Alex went one side and another bit went the other side. Yeah. And so,
yeah. All right, so
that gave me the ticket for the second appearance of the David Letterman show.
When I previously talked about this race, I said that the doctors were unable to save his legs. This was quite the understatement, as there were effectively no legs left to save. In an appearance on David Letterman's show, Alex recalls watching the 1989 movie Born on the 4th of July, in which Tom Cruise portrays Vietnam veteran Ron Kovic, paralyzed from the waist down after a firefight.
And there's a piece in it in which he's on a wheelchair without his legs, screaming and complaining about... Anyway, and I got really impressed, and I really asked myself, what would I do if I would find myself in that situation? And the answer was immediate, like I would kill myself. Well, I guess you gotta give credit to humankind for the fact that in this kind of situation, we do react in a way that is not what we would think it would happen. And we really find in ourselves hidden resources that we use whenever we need it.
One resource that Alex would make extensive use of was hand controls, because Alex Zanardi is not done driving.
Last week, Alex Zanardi tried out his new 750 horsepower Champ car equipped with hand controls. And now here he is, back in Germany, completing the 13 laps that went unfinished back in 2001. Operating the throttle with his left thumb, the clutch with his right hand, and most remarkable of all, working the brake with his artificial right leg using the strength of his hip. And as we all know by now, Alex Zanardi has enormous reserves of strength.
In 2003, he returned to the Lausitzring, ceremoniously completing the 13 laps that he was unable to in 2001. One may assume that this would be a final farewell to the sport, but Alex is still not done racing, nor is he done winning.
One long right-hander after turn 8. Muller's around the outside, Zanardi on the inside, Muller's on the grass, Prio's going for the win. There is no emotion until this race is over, but there will be mighty emotion surely, and I can't believe it. After a dramatic last couple of corners, Alex Zanardi will win round 14 of the World Touring Car Championship at Lausitzring. Absolutely.
After 4 wins in the World Touring Car Championship, Alex retired from full-time car racing in 2009. But of course, he's not done. He turns his attention to paracycling, specifically H4 and H5 hand cycling. This is basically exactly what it sounds like, cycling but using your hands to pedal. He'd been doing it for several years, but now that he can devote himself to it full-time, his goal is to make the 2012 Paralympics in London. He does, and wins the gold medal. 4 years later in Rio, he won the gold again. He would continue hand cycling as well as making sporadic appearances in GT racing with BMW, even racing at the 24 Hours of Daytona in 2019. Unfortunately, the kart IRL split prevented Alex Zanardi from racing in the Indianapolis 500, and his choice to leave for Formula One in 1999 only compounded this. Had he stayed with Ganassi through 2000, he would have been in the car that Juan Pablo Montoya drove to victory at Indy, and I have no doubt that he could have won that race. Alex's racing career continued until June 19, 2020, when he was hit by an oncoming truck while competing in a hand cycling road race. He suffered massive head trauma in the accident and was hospitalized for the next 18 months. He would not make another public appearance after the accident. On May 1st, 2026, at the age of 59, Alex Zanardi passed away. In an obituary for the BBC, sports writer Andrew Benson called Alex a 21st century hero, citing his unquenchable spirit in the face of unbelievable adversity. Alex, for his part, believed that this spirit exists in all of us. You can't call me Superman. That's sending out the wrong message, as people might think it's not possible to achieve what I have unless they are special. But he was special, and he proved it every time he got behind the wheel. He said that he drove with his heart and tried to accomplish the impossible, and sometimes it seemed like he did. The legacy that Alex has left behind in this world is epitomized by what he will do on the final lap at Laguna Seca in 1996. Doing things with his race car that most drivers wouldn't dare. Pursuing his goals to the bitter end even when most believed them to be impossible. And blowing everyone's minds in the process.
Brian Herta, United States, Jimmy Vassar, United States, two new names, both from the U.S., in the series that has become so international. For the battle for the PPG Cup. Oh, my God! Here he comes, here he goes, he gets him! Can he get him back? Can he hang on? Oh, look at this! Down through the boards on the final lap. Alex Zanardi, remember twice we've had the change on the final lap of the race this year. Alex Zanardi at the top of the hill, an area you would not normally try and pass. Ducks the inside of Brian Herta, goes all the way off the course on the right-hand side, and Alex Zanardi, with a brilliant move, takes the checkered flag from the pole and the win here at Laguna.